I want to show you 30 amazing places in Bali that you just can't miss. Let's just get right into it. There's no particular order to any of these places, and I'm only sharing places that I actually visited myself and therefore can recommend. There's obviously a lot more very nice places in Bali just beyond this list. First up is Green Bowl Beach, one of the many very nice beaches down in Uluwatu. This one is really unique because of, well, its bowl shape. It's not that big and it's a bit of a hike down to get to it. When you get down there, it's really beautiful, but be aware that there can be monkeys trying to steal some of your stuff if you're not careful. It's also very popular with surfers. Next, we got the area of Sidimen. Sidimen is just an area towards the east in Bali, but it just has a very beautiful kind of, I guess, real Bali feel to it, like not overly touristed at all. It's just beautiful rice terraces everywhere and mainly small local villages. A beautiful area just to drive through or to stay at one of the beautiful resorts or hotels there. Even further to the east by the coast, there is a wreck, I think it's called Liberty, US Liberty, but a big shipwreck that you can literally just snorkel off the coast and dive down to it. I think the top part of it is just about 5-7 meters below, and then it kind of slopes downwards. You can go diving there, or if you're a good freediver, you can also pretty much explore a lot of the ship. Then we got TT Beach Club, one of the countless beach clubs in Bali, and again, this one is just on the list because I actually went there. I think it's a bit new, so it's really modern and beautiful. It's quite expensive, as I think most of the beach clubs in Bali are, but it sits on probably one of the most beautiful beaches in Bali. Balangan Beach is another very beautiful beach down in Uluwatu. The beach itself is awesome, and there's also this great viewpoint just next to the beach that's very popular with tourists and locals alike to go and watch the sunset. Tegenungang Waterfall. I mean, it's Bali, there's bound to be a couple waterfalls on this list. So this one is the first one that I visited. It's also, I guess, one of the easier to reach. It's kind of the closest to many of the more touristy areas, and it also has very, I guess, developed infrastructure. That can also mean that it can get very crowded here because it's very easy to get there. But definitely visit in the morning if you want to have it a bit more for yourself. Another waterfall, Leke Leke Waterfall. Yeah, this one is just really cool. I guess the images and videos can speak for themselves here. And we got Pererenan Beach. I hope I pronounced that somewhat correctly. But I could basically say all of the beaches, or well, the same beach that kind of runs through Canggu, Seminyak, Kuta. It's not a nice beach per se. It's like black sand and it can get a bit dirty. The water is not the nicest, but it's very lively because, I mean, this is where a lot of the tourists are staying. So there's a lot going on. It's awesome to go there for sunset, to grab a beer and just people watch, play football, play with the dogs. It's a good vibe. Okay, next we got Nusa Penida, which is not actually in Bali, but a small island very close to Bali. But I include it because if you're going to Bali, you should definitely think about visiting Nusa Penida. It's very easy to do a day trip here, but if you have the time, I would definitely recommend to stay at least a night or two there to really get a nice experience in Nusa Penida. Nungalan Beach is another very cool beach down in Uluwatu. Milo by Nuuk, a pretty cool restaurant. Again, there's countless of amazing restaurants in Bali, but I really like this one. It has a beautiful vibe and the food is great. It's a bit expensive though. Tegalagang rice terraces. So this is probably the tourist spot to, well, go see rice terraces, and it's like very close to Ubud, and I guess for good reason. It's very, very beautiful. Can feel a bit touristy, and you can definitely visit other places with rice terraces that are not touristy at all, but it's definitely worth checking Tegalagang rice terraces out. Okay, next one I guess is not a particular spot. If you can ride a scooter and rent a scooter, just riding around the streets outside of Ubud, just get a little bit into the countryside and just drive around. It's just an amazing experience. Then we got La Brisa, another very famous, I guess it's a beach club, but it's very chill during the day, have good lunch, and just a very nice place to chill with your family or friends. And then they also throw some pretty good parties if you're into that. Then we got Kind, another restaurant which is pretty cool. This one is in Seminyak. I think it's all vegan, and I had my first fully vegan pizza there, I think. Really cool place. Padang Beach, another one for your amazing beaches list. Then we got Lahangan Sweet. So this is in East Bali, and from what I know, it's basically just some people from the local village that kind of built some infrastructure and some viewing platforms and platforms to take photos up on the top of this mountain, because the views are just amazing. And then you pay a little bit to get in and enjoy the views and take some cool pictures. We went here for sunrise and we had it all to ourselves. It was pretty amazing, but we also got really lucky with the weather, as it can often be very clouded up in the mountains. Next is Virgin Beach, beautiful white sand beach that's also more towards the east of Bali and I guess away from a lot of the touristy areas. So if you want a nice beach but not have it overly touristed, this one is for you. Bukit Sinta. So this is just some random place by the side of the road that I guess some people found and took some pictures and made it kind of a popular spot on social media. Next up is Geretek, and in particular the beaches here are really cool. They're like very black stone beaches with palm trees right next to it. Just a really cool place and not touristy at all. It's a really cool and beautiful place to see. And not far from Geretek is Savannah Cianyar. So basically in the dry season in Bali, the grass here turns kind of yellow and makes it kind of resemble a bit of a savanna. And it's pretty beautiful with the big volcano in the background. A very unique place for Bali that you don't really find many other places. Another waterfall, and this is Banjumala Twin Waterfalls. So this waterfall is up towards the north of Bali, where there are tons of waterfall. This is just one of the beautiful ones, and we particularly enjoyed swimming in this one. And not too far from that, we got another waterfall. This one is called Banjuwana Ametha Waterfall. Again, I probably butchered the pronunciation. This one is also really unique, and it's a pretty cool hike to get here. So close to Ubud, there's this place called Krecha, I think. Basically think a beach club, but in the middle of the jungle and the rice fields. There's some really cool pools, beautiful views, good food, a bit of a party vibe though, with some very loud music already at like 11 a.m. But besides that, pretty amazing place. Next is Tamblingang Lake and the temple right next to it. So this is also up in the north, and you can then drive down to this lake that sits in between the mountains. If you're staying in Ubud, you should definitely check out Campuhan Ridge Walk. It's pretty much located in the middle of Ubud, and it's this hike you go on a, ridge, and just get some beautiful nature and beautiful views. I especially recommend going for a hike here in the morning. Really peaceful vibes. The final waterfall on this list is going to be Suwat waterfall. Another beautiful one if you're into doing that waterfall hunting. And then we got Thomas Beach, yet another beautiful beach down in Uluwatu. This one was one of my personal favorites. And the next one is a very cool place called Pasut Beach. You go here because you're able to take your scooter or motorbike and just ride on the beach, which is very fun. But be careful, of course. And then we got another one that's actually not in Bali, but if you're going to Bali, you should definitely go to the Gili Islands. It's 3 small islands off the coast of Lombok, and it's a few hours boat ride away from Bali. And these islands definitely got that real island vibe. They're small, there's no motorized vehicle, the beaches are amazing, the snorkeling is amazing, there's turtles everywhere. So if you can, definitely check out the Gili Islands. If you're planning a trip to Bali, definitely consider to subscribe to this channel, as I'll be coming out with a huge guide on everything you need to know before you visit Bali. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.